we go. Sam Blum
Oh,
from
that's
The
what he looks
Athletic
like.
joining us right now.
I never forgot what Sam, because we had a talk the other day about Bobby Jenks, and I forgot what Sam looked like. So no, good. Hi,
There he
Sam.
is.
How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
It's me.
Hey, Sam,
It's
let's
me.
talk Angels. Are you buying this? What do you think so far? What's going right?
Um, it's tough because I think I've seen this before to some extent. I mean, I look back to 2022. They started 27 and 17. Even last year, they were, I think, pretty good in the first couple weeks. So I think there are elements of this that are sustainable. Like, I think some of the growth from the younger players is legitimate. Logan O'Hoppe, Kyren Paris, what he's doing, and I'm sure you guys will ask about him, is absurd. So I think that improvement, obviously, Paris probably won't hit 400, but there's parts of this team that I think are real. I like Jose Soriano is pitching right now. Jack Ohanowitz, Yusei Kikuchi. I mean, these guys look like they can maybe be the anchors in a rotation. But again, it's so early. I think that there's elements of the Angels organization and the way they have operated that haven't necessarily changed, and those are the reasons why they've not really succeeded over the years. So when you get to the point where you need to reach into the depths of your organization, when you sustain a losing streak, like how do you respond to that? I think there are parts of this that the jury's still very much out 10, 11 games into the season, but it's optimistic, I think, based on maybe what the expectations were just a couple weeks ago.
But didn't Perry Managian come on our show and say, oh, we're building this team for more slug? What do they have in the first week and a half, 2 weeks of the season? More slug. So isn't this to perfection of what Perry Managian was trying to build that they didn't have last year?
Yeah, I definitely think the first 11 games could not have drawn it up any better for them. They're and it's not just slug. I mean, I don't think anyone thought Kyren Paris would hit 5 home runs in 8 games, but yeah, I mean, I think the idea was when they brought in Jorge Soler, I mean, you'd have like a legitimate middle of the order bat. It's also interesting that Mike Trout's like hitting 170, 180 right now, and they're still doing this. So if he ever gets hot, when he gets hot, like that will be an added boost. Same as getting Zach Neto back, which I think they were hoping to have happen at the end of the month. So there's reinforcements potentially even coming along. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of exactly as they drew it up. I just want to see it over a longer period of time, but this is, like I said, it's an optimistic outlook, a week and a half in.
You said the depth, and we know all their depth is in the big leagues. Do they have anybody when those injuries start to come up? Because they have a draft pick from last year. Ryan Johnson's in the big leagues, was drafted last year. So where's that depth going to come from?
I think that's going to be the biggest question because, the last couple of years, the Angels have used 66 players each of the last 2 seasons. This is that's where it always kind of falls apart for them. And so I think if they're able to stay really healthy, that will at the very least put them in position to maybe compete this season or be in better position than they were last year. But when it comes to that depth, that's where the biggest question mark is. Today they called up J.D. Davis because Yohan Moncada went on the IL. Not that Moncada was lighting the world on fire, but now you're kind of testing that. This is maybe that first guy up, at least in the position player core, and you got to see what you have. I mean, J.D. Davis really wasn't a very good big league player last year. Really wasn't very good in spring. So, is he going to come in and be maybe what he was 2 or 3 years ago, or is he going to be the player that we've maybe gotten used to seeing more recently? So I think that's what it is. I mean, like in the minor leagues, I don't think they really have tons of options, tons of big league ready options, especially in the outfield. That's going to be an issue. So they got to keep guys healthy. And if they're able to do that, I think they'll be in position to at least compete. But, if they don't, I would be hard pressed to see it really paying off because unless you got a bunch of Kyren Paris who just kind of come out of nowhere to be the best player in baseball, it's going to be tough.
More in a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsor of this video.
Kratz, do you like spending an hour on grocery shopping?
Nope. Speed up the process, please.
Introducing Hungry Root to the FT fam.
Now we can all be bougie with our own personal shopper to handle the food shopping, including Rex, based on what you're looking to put in your body.
I stack my Hungry Root box with items like gluten-free, dairy-free blueberry waffles for breakfast, shrimp veggie bowls for lunch, and a little filet mignon with potatoes and broccolini for dinner.
You can also say just, hey, Hungry Root, I eat paleo mayo, or I'm vegetarian, and they load up your cart with personalized recommendations.
And those recs keep evolving as they learn about what you're into. Also, no BS, as in no artificial sweeteners or preservatives in any of Hungry Root's food. You're going to love Hungry Root as much as FT does. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/FT and use code FT. That's hungryroot.com/FT, code FT to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
And now back to the video.
By the way, I can't believe Moncada's on the IL. No way. I mean, as a White Sox fan, I never saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Just saying. Tim Anderson's doing all right. Defensively.
No,
Defensively, he's doing all right.
not on offense.
But defensively, he's doing fine.
Yeah.
All right. But you mentioned what's that? Go ahead, Sam.
No, I was going to say, saved him some runs yesterday, but he's been very good defensively, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You mentioned Kyren Paris. Did anybody see this coming? I mean, Logan O'Hoppe, okay, I can understand because he's had a little bit of a track record. He had some success, but Paris really hasn't. And then all of a sudden, I mean, he seems like every time he steps up to the plate, he's a home run threat. Did anybody in the Angels organization see this coming?
Listen, he's been a prospect. He's been in the big leagues a couple times. But like last year at Double-A, he hit .091, I think. Like he was really just – and that it's a credit to him because I think he recognized, I can maybe be a guy that comes up and down and plays some big league games every year, but am I going to be a legitimate big leaguer with the way that I go about things now? And I think he realized that the answer to that was no. And so he went and, sought out, Aaron Judge's hitting coach is an interesting guy if you look him up on Twitter. But he basically revamped his entire approach, and it paid off for him like immediately. And I think he started seeing that in spring training. I mean, he was not expected to make the big league roster. They cut Mickey Moniak to get him on the big league roster. And then even when the season started, he was not an everyday player. Ron Washington was like booed heavily before the season opener at like a, kind of like they do a red carpet event, and he was getting interviewed, and they asked if Kyren Paris is in the lineup. Wash said no, and he got booed. And it's just like the fans are picking up on this. I think the organization is slowly starting to realize, okay, we got to play this guy like every single game. He's just worked his way into this position. So to answer your question, no, I don't think anybody really saw this coming, but they're certainly willing to capitalize on it now.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.